Yeah, I will continue about this explanation, the undue influence. That the undue influence means that you, as an auditor, have your audit findings, have your judgment, but the client disagree with your judgment, with your audit findings. They continually disagree. But of course, and you will have to present your opinion about your audit finding, and you have to show the audit evidence. You have to like confidence about yourself, not being low, yeah, like underestimate your own evidence. That's why you will get something like the threat from the client, from the other professional firms like the tax consultant, maybe like the lawyer, yeah, like something like that. But still, you have to protect your like your opinion, yeah. You have to ya, keep up with your opinion, ya, mempertahankan temuan kalian, your audit findings with the appropriate audit evidence. So you have the audit judgment from the audit evidence, and you can say, I have my audit findings in here because of this audit evidence. You have the fraud, maybe you have the misstatement in here, and something like that. So as long as you have the judgment with the audit evidence, you will win the like the argument, something like that. So yes, this is the threat, yeah, from the ACPA, the Code of Professional Conduct. So many like the ethical dilemma, yeah, in as an auditor, because once again, as an auditor, you have to audit the others person works, yeah, the financial statement works. Of course, they will like prevent their works, yeah, from your audit findings, something like that. So yes, there is a dilemma from the internal aspect and from the external aspect, something like that. And after that, you will know about in Indonesia, the code ethics in Indonesia. There is one book that summarize all of the ethics, the conducts, yeah, the code ethics for the auditor. Code etik profesi akuntan publik. It's published by the IAPI. Yeah, once again, IAPI is a part of the IFAC, International Federation of Association in here of Accountants. Sorry. Yeah, IFAC. So it comes from the international standard, so you don't have to worry. And this is the latest code etik professional akuntan publik, profesi akuntan publik. And this is the parts, yeah, there is three parts, A, B, C, but for the ethics conduct, there are two parts in general in here, yeah? For the general code ethics and the auditors itself, yeah. And yes, this is the part A, the general of the code ethics, including the integrity, objectivity, yeah, professional competence, yeah, from your competency and due care. And confidentially, of course, the confidentiality and professional behavior. So in here, from the part B, you will get to know about the, wait, maybe I will give you the, yes, this is the file, you can download at Bella 2. In here, you got the ethic. Yeah, you also can download it in the website actually. Yeah, this is the code ethic, and you can say this is a complete set of code ethics in general. Yeah, for the akuntan publik, for the CPA. Yeah, the code ethics in general, code ethics in words, code ethics in fields, code ethics in reporting. Yeah. And how to engage with the client. Yes, so many in here. So in summary, this is the summary. Yeah? They will regulate the professional appointments, conflict of interest, second appointment opinions, the fee, yeah, the marketing professional services, gifts and hospitality. Yeah, you have to aware with the gift or hospitality, because once again, as an auditor, you have to maintain your independency, yeah, and the custody, yeah, objectivity of services, independence. Yes, this part independence is really low. Yeah? And yes, this is the principle. Yeah, the standard is in here, but yes, as you conduct in your fields, you usually only in here in this level, because once again, principle is the ideal. Yeah. But you and the fields maybe will face with many threats, many difficulties, and you have to conduct in this level, the minimum level of conduct by practitioner. And the independence itself, the value of auditing depends heavily on the public perception, once again, on the public perception of the independence of auditors. So you become an auditor, of course you have to be independent. If you not independent, you cannot become an auditor. So there are two kinds of independence. Independence in fact and independence in appearance. Independent in fact, it means you have your independence in your own mind. It's yourself itself. How's your level of independence? It comes from you. But from the appearance, your independence will be evaluated by the others. The other people. The other people will see you, oh, you are a very good auditor, you are very independent, you are so independent, very objective. You got your audit finding with the appropriate audit evidence. So this is from the evaluation from the others, not from yourself. From yourself is the independence in fact, your competency itself. Independence in appearance, the others will evaluate you. How's your independency? So this is the important part in here. It's from the Bapepam LK. Is prohibited service for the auditor. So if you become an auditor, you prohibit by these kinds of service. Many of them is usually is the non-attestation service. Once again, you cannot audit your work. You cannot audit your client that you are the accounting. You provide the bookkeeping. You provide the tax. So like this. Bookkeeping and other accounting service is prohibited if you audit that company. Financial information system design and implementation that you created for the company, you cannot audit. Appraisal or valuation service, you cannot do the audit because you are the appraisal, who made the valuation for their asset, the nominal. You cannot do the audit. Actuarial service also you cannot. This is the not popular. I think some kind of specialist job in the future that will be in a good terms. Actuarial. So it is like you calculate the future value, like you calculate the pension, the cost of the pension 2 years later. So the company will have the liability, this sum of the amount, something like that. It's kind of difficult. And of course, internal audit is outsourcing. If you are the internal audit of the company, of course you cannot. You cannot audit yourself. Management of human resource function cannot do. If you are the one who is responsible for the management of the human resource in that company, you cannot do the audit. Broker or dealer or investment advisor, to that company, of course you cannot do the audit. Legal and expert service unrelated to the audit also. Any other service that is permissible. So once again, this is the prohibited service. If you want to audit that company, this is the list of the prohibited services. So the others is like the additional information, something like the audit committees. So in the company, in the big company, public company especially, the Bapepam LK requires that all of the public company have the audit committee, and the audit committee have to be independent. So the audit committee inside the company. companies must disclose whether or not the audit committee includes at least one financial expert. This is the regulation. The regulation states that if you have the audit committee, one of the audit committee have the background of the financial expert, financial expert, whether it's accounting service, tax service, auditor, something like that. Conflict arising from the employment relationship. So in here, as you can see, I already explained it in the weeks 2 about the rotation, in here. So in here we will use the latest regulation 2015 and 2017. Which means you have to get a rotation of the partner 5 years. If you are the public company, you have to be audited by the others partner, after 3 years consecutively with the same partner. So you have to change your partner. So after that, you have the cool down of 2 years, and then come back to the same partner. So it's like my explanation before. This is the KAPG KAPO. KAPO have the partner named Joko. Joko audit PTA. Okay. So PTA can hire Joko to audit his company for the maximum of 3 years audit. After that, PTA have to change the partner or change the CPA firms. Maybe Jaka. Jaka, the PTA can audited by Jaka also. The maximum is 3 years. But if PTA want to come back to Joko, they have to be audited by the other auditor at least 2 years. So maybe Jaka 1 year and Susan 1 year. And after that, the PTA can back again to the Joko. This is the meaning of the partner rotation and the cooling off. So this is the other important information. And for the ownership interest, the Bapama LK have their own rules about the engagement perspective. The owner will get influence, blah blah blah, and the other issue like the audit fee and the opinion shopping. So in this issue, most likely the audit fee is too high or maybe too low. You cannot do that. They have the standard. You cannot have the very high audit fee because or maybe very low audit fee. So if you have the very low audit fee, it is like you sells your opinion freely, like you buy the certificate, something like that. It's not in the formal way, it's not the right way. Like you beli ijazah S1, No, you cannot do like that. You cannot beli opini, You have to be audited and you get the opinion. Not you cannot buy the opinion. Maybe some CPA firms that small CPA do this kind of unethical. But once again, you cannot do that. So this is the other issue about the audit fee, because this is like, you can just buy the opinion in these CPA firms, something like that. But once again, audit fee can be formed depending on the size of many factors. Fee dependent, fee setting, low billing. Many factors to get the audit fee amount. This is the other issue, and it's not the junior auditor level. This is like the manager or partner level. So this is the end of the chapter 4. In this chapter, it's all about the unethical and the dilemma, the ethics, what is the threats also. So in here, we will have the discussion. Maybe I will give you some cases and you will get your opinion about the cases. Of course, with the ethics case. Okay? So see you at the Bella in the discussion. Okay? Thank you.